It's been 5 years and the Geekcast Radio Network would like to give back to you. How, you may ask? Well, first of all, we're coming up with a brand new website to be launched June 1st, 2014. In addition to that, there'll be many new features for interactive abilities. So how do you enter into this magical celebration? Well, Geekcast Radio has a contest where you can win some awesome prizes, ranging from comics, Blu-rays, DVDs, trade paperbacks, and comics, and more. How do you enter? Write in your favorite stories of how the Geekcast Radio Network has affected you in the last 5 years, and how it's unleashed the geek in you. You can also enter by writing reviews on our shows on iTunes. For more information, visit www.geekcastradio.com and click on the banner. So until next time, unleash the geek in you. Welcome to The Pull Bag. Join us as we dig out our latest comics and discuss them with a rotating panel of the GCRN crew. So sit back and enjoy this week's Pull Bag.
Hello and welcome to The Pull Bag. This is episode 69. This is the Batman Spotlight month for 75 years of Batman here inside The Pull Bag. May 1939 was Batman's first debut, and this time around we're doing something from the future, or the current day. We are going to be talking about Cartoon Network's short-lived animated series comic spin-off, Beware the Batman from DC Comics. I'm your host, Steve Joe Mike, and joining me once again is Steve Megatron. Hello.
Hello.
Now, the Beware the Batman cartoon, along with every other superhero, action, fantasy, gunfight kind of cartoon, really got the shaft from Cartoon Network. Both in the scheduling and even survive. It's like the deal with DC and Cartoon Network just fell through. I mean, everything. Not Justice League, Young Justice, Green Lantern, and now this. The only thing it seems like they're holding on to from DC is that crappy Teen Titans Go.
Yeah, I wish that the show had continued for this.
Yeah, I do too, because it didn't really get its legs.
It didn't get its legs, but it started. It was trying to do something different, and it was a different perspective on Batman, and he went back to the completely all black costume.
Yep.
It was a different animation style, which I was okay with. And I could get behind the voice acting and everything. And plus, even though when it was first teased, I was panning it for not having the core characters of, Riddler, Joker, Catwoman, Penguin, Two-Face, Freeze, whatever. But it worked out with who they had, because it was a different, younger perspective of Batman and everything. And then, of course, the League of Assassins or League of Shadows or whatever shows up in this, and it's it teases Ra's al Ghul in an episode, and you actually see him in a tube, but then the show kind of just disappeared after that, and so you never get to see that actually play out.
Yeah.
So I mean, they were leading into slowly growing into his character villain gallery, but it never got the legs, because Cartoon Network seems to kill things before they get legs.
Pretty much, yes. So, okay, here's the deal. Beware the Batman, it is, I believe, a monthly print issue for DC Comics, but it's either monthly or bi-monthly, and then it's every other week or something or other for the digital. We are reviewing these as digital chapters, so this episode will be chapters 1 through 4. So this is... because the way they've set up the digital chapters is it's part 1, part 2 stories. So in issue 1, Law and Disorder, part 1 of 2. This is written by Ivan Cohen, illustrated by Luciano Vecchio, colors by Franco Rezio, lettered by Wes Abbott. So, what do you think of the title screen here with the Law and Disorder? The background and the logo and just Batman being there.
I don't know. I like it. I mean, it's it gives that kind of grunge look, and you have him kind of staring down into it.
Yeah, and it's very, very cool. I absolutely love the little title screen. What I love most about, because I am viewing, well, we are both viewing these on Comixology.com. Um, what I love about Comixology is their guided view, because it shows you the panels like they were storyboards. So it kind of it's not really a motion comic, but it kind of feels that way a little bit. In this very first panel where you see Gotham City and you see a guy running with the helicopter or the blimp or whatever else, the spotlight on him. The first thing I thought of when I saw it, I'm like, hey, it's BTAS reference.
It was kind of nice seeing some of that, like the animation that they use
Hmm.
in the actual show, but then you also have the uh, it's more of a Batman the animated series kind of vibe with it.
Yeah, I mean, you have the animated. You have I would say the backgrounds in some of this are animated series styled, but the actual characters, you're right, are the Beware the Batman stuff. I absolutely love this story here because you've got Katana coming up against this guy who's running away, and she's talking to this criminal, and Batman comes up behind him and he says, "You're supposed to be scared of me." um, Again, the art in this, really, really love it. And this first chapter is all about Simon Stagg and Stagg doing criminal activity as he always has. Um, what do you think of Bruce not having Alfred as his driver anymore?
Um, I'm fine with it. I mean, it's a different universe, so I mean, it's not going to be the same as what you're
Hmm.
typically used to. Um, I I don't mind him having Katana doing all
Hmm.
the legwork. Plus, it gives Alfred kind of it may give him more of a stationary role, but he's also kind of in the British, ops kind of thing. He was kind of doing similar, surveillance and all this other planning. So I mean, it kind of makes sense that he stays at the Batcave.
Yep. So they're out to find and stop the Fight Back movement, which has just reached Gotham City. And this is Bruce says fight back protests have already sprung up in New York, LA, and Metropolis. No surprise Gotham would make the list. I'll walk from here. Maybe they'll mistake me for a waiter. And you have Wayne talking to Simon Stagg and Amanda Waller. It's interesting seeing Amanda Waller in this.
Yeah, it's a little different. That was never played out in
The show.
yeah. Um, I find it funny that they made her look like she does in the animated series.
Yeah.
Now, if you go back a page when it
Hmm.
has Bruce talking to Stag in the room, if you
Yeah.
look in the right hand side,
Yeah.
who does that look like to you?
Catwoman.
No, on
Oh no. On the
the one
okay,
holding
yeah,
the plate of hors d'oeuvres.
yeah. Let me see here.
It's it's Alfred.
Oh yeah, hey, yeah. Wow. Yeah. You can really tell this writer and these artists are coming from a background of all different styles of Batman. Now
Well,
I love
well,
oh go
Simon
ahead.
Stagg also has Joker's coat,
Yeah, he does. Instead of a giant green flower though, he has a stupid red bow tie.
and he has the Stag logo.
Yeah. That's true. But yeah, you're right. I would have never caught. I don't think I've ever caught Alfred. Wow. Um, so you've got Bruce and Stag and this other guy coming, talking about various things, and Bruce has to. He congratulates Simon and Mr. Catsby. He's sure he'll talk to them again. I love Katana. Not just the fact that I've talked to Katana because we interviewed Simile Montano, who voices her on the cartoon series, but just the lines that they wrote for that character. Leaving already? Did you eat a bad shrimp or something? So they're gonna try to figure out what Simon is up to.
Yeah, I mean it's funny because they have this lock mechanism,
Hmm.
and they're trying to figure out how this comes into play with everything that's going on.
Yeah.
And it's funny because he's calling Simon Stagg a big phony.
Yeah. Now the page, if you're going panel by panel, the third panel on this page where you see the three of them in the cave, and you see Alfred standing there with a cane and his leg looks like it's casted. At that glancing distance, he almost looks like Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, I
Just a
swear
little
some of
bit.
these nods are intentional.
Oh yeah, most I wouldn't doubt it.
There's also
Um,
a reference to False Face.
hmm Oh yeah. I love all the action in this comic. I really, really do. And the Batmobile looks so good. So they go to the place where they think that this whole plot is happening, and it's a trap. Ba-boom!
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
um, and so they get exploded, and then we skip to the next morning. This is how it skips in the issue, folks. Um, Apparently, Bruce slept a whole day. It's nearly 10 p.m. And he asks, "What has he missed?" Katana says, "Besides me dragging you away from Catsby's trap and getting the Batmobile and the cycle home before I passed out from blood loss, not much." I absolutely love Katana's lines. I really do.
She's kind of a smart aleck.
She's if I know Katana is her own character, but if they were to ever do a female Nightwing, that's who I would want as a female Nightwing. Um, um, so they find out that the plan, whatever it is going down at midnight, and we run into our old friend Anarchy, and it says to be continued. Overall, for me, I absolutely love the art. The story is very, very well done here in this first chapter. What did you think of the story here?
I think it was rock solid.
Yeah.
Uh, I honestly would rather I would rather read this than most of the current Batman comics. Not only because of the nod to the animation style,
Hmm.
and the style, like the almost kind of BTAS mesh with it, um,
Right.
but that aside, the story just makes a hell of a lot more sense than anything I've read on Batman in the last year.
Yeah. Oh yeah, most definitely. And even though these are releases that come out every 2 weeks, or what, I don't know what the actual digital release schedule is. But even so, I love these 1 and 2 parters because when comics do that, when digital comics do this, or when these kids comics do this, or not even, I wouldn't even say kids comics, because once we get to once down the line here in the pullback, when we get to the Batman Beyond coverage, the current Batman Beyond universe coverage, oh man, 7-part arcs that actually work as 7 or 8 part arcs, because the greatest thing to me for digital comics is they're not 30 or 40 pages. They're maybe 10, 12 pages. The only ad you see is the ad at the end of the book. Absolutely love them. I really do. I know I've said in the past that I am solely a print guy and I need a comic, I need the physical copy in my hand. But if it's stories like this that remind me of weekly cartoon series that would do, part one, part twos, I absolutely love this. So we have Law and Disorder Part 2, and we pick right up where we left off at 10:45 p.m. Yeah, so there's no real time loss here because the last chapter ended with Anarchy, and this one kind of begins with it. And Bruce is saying, "Play the end part of Anarchy's message again." This is your chance. It looks like there are no locks, there are no doors, there is no property. That message plays across Gotham at midnight. We'll have only a little more than an hour to stop whatever Anarchy is planning. So they're still trying to figure this out. And Katana wants to go along with Bruce, and he's like, no sword. Cramping my style, Bruce. Do you really think Fight Back is a front for Anarchy? And again, the way the art is, absolutely love it. We then go to Simon's office, where he gets attacked. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
Yep.
Yep. Is there anything in the art so far that you're not really liking?
No, actually, I'm still enjoying the art.
Yeah.
Although Stag here, when he shows up, he looks like he's wearing a Riddler costume.
Again, I think, we said a second ago, I think all the costumes for Stag are intentional.
Oh, I
really
swear they are,
do.
because he's kind of the main villain, and they're making him out like, not that he is those other villains, but they're making him like the placeholder. And so by showing these different methods in it, they're basically having the character without having the character. It's a nice nod.
Oh, yeah. So Tatsu goes down to the Fight Back protest, and they're all complaining. They say that Stag's the worst, sends all manufacturing jobs overseas, doesn't pay taxes. They're all like that. Dayton, Luther, don't forget Wayne, right? And then some big guy says, "Did you say something about Bruce Wayne?" And then the next shot, I love this. This was my desktop background for the longest. Vroom with the Batmobile. Oh my god! Any shots of the Batmobile, I absolutely love it. And Batman says that he's left the cave, and she's telling him what's going on down there. We have Anarchy showing up, and it's Anarchy who attacked Stag. We go to, again, Katana. Oh, man, I love this chick. She is so awesome. Do all terrorists talk this much, or is it just you? No, why don't you put down the evil billionaire and let me, and we can settle this calmly.
Yeah, it's funny how they can... she's almost like a part of Bruce's personality, just in a different person.
Yeah. And of course, she probably shouldn't have said, "Why don't you put down the evil billionaire?" Because Anarchy puts him down, drops him off the edge of the building.
And he goes, "Whee!"
Yep. Batman's sidekick. Not my plan, but I can be flexible. Really? How flexible is your jaw? Wham! Oh man, these comics are so great. Absolutely love them. So Batman and Anarchy fight. Oh man, I almost called her Talia. That would be an insult. I don't know why I almost did that, but
well, it's almost like they took, Barbara Gordon, Talia, and just your run-of-the-mill League of Assassin and kind of threw them all together.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, most definitely. So Katana has to save Stags. Anarchy and Batman are still fighting, um, and they're talking about they're the chimes of freedom. It's midnight, and right now your city is receiving its new orders. And Batman's like, I guess you haven't heard. Your show's been preempted. Smack.
It's almost like what he does to Joker on a continuous basis. Your
Yeah.
show has been canceled.
Yes. And we have this giant Stag Industries TV. Now, what do you think of this? This image here where it's anarchy and then it kind of rips in half and shows the bat symbol?
I actually thought that was kind of inventive, and it's almost like Dark Knight Returns-ish.
Oh yeah, very much so. This is
and that bat emblem. It's the funny thing is this bat emblem and the one from the Arkham games are pretty much the same thing.
Yeah,
I'm almost positive because they influenced that with the 75 years of Batman.
Yeah,
I'm almost guessing that that's the new bat symbol for the new film.
That'd be interesting
because the new, I from everything I've heard, it's going to be like new 52-ish style bat suit. So this is also the same bat emblem as the new 52 costume. So this is like the new Universal Bat logo.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. And the story says this is Batman. A madman named Anarchy has unlocked nearly every door in Gotham. Anarchy thinks that all the city needs are unlocked doors to turn Gotham into the jungle, but we know better. I'm counting on all of you to stay home and stay calm until this crisis passes. And to those of you who won't, who think this is your opportunity you've been waiting for, just remember, I'll be watching. I love him jump. Again, there are certain bat suits that I don't really particularly care for, but like all the modern stuff so far that have blended multiple variations of previous bat suits, absolutely love it, especially with this image of him jumping off the roof. Oh man.
I think it's
So
funny
awesome.
the big guy that he catches, he says, "Nice catch, we're even." Huh? Which that guy almost looks like one of Bruce's disguises in BTAS too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I almost thought it was him when I first saw the character pop up, but
Yeah, I almost thought it was him too, but then I realized that it wasn't gonna be.
I love his finishing lines though when he's walking with Katana. And
yeah.
he says, "Really innocent people have nothing to fear from justice. It's the guilty ones who have reason to beware."
Yeah, that is so awesome. It really, really is.
It was a fitting end to this particular, issue
yeah.
of the comic because it leaves off with saying, "Beware the Batman," basically.
Pretty much, yeah. It's a nice little irony there. So I think we are going to take a quick break, and we'll come back with chapters 3 and 4 after this.
Impressive.
Thank you, Batman. But you're... Don't hurt your brain trying to understand. I want you conscious when I take you down.
Bravo. I believe this game just got interesting.
Alright, up next we have Chapter 3 of Beware the Batman, and the title card, or before we get the actual cover image is, "It's over, Professor Pig." Batman against purple buildings. I like it.
You would. And it's Justice League Batman here.
Yeah, it is. It kind of is. I mean, it's, yeah, very cool.
I'm going to take you through your trip through DCAU through Beware the Batman.
Oh, yeah. Very cool. Yeah. The Rule of Three, Part 1 of 2. Katana is on the title page here. She looks like she just bitch slapped somebody.
With a shovel.
Yeah.
I mean, her hand.
Yeah. So we open with somewhat of an origin.
Which
we see...
is BTAS.
Yeah, the style, yeah. Well, I don't know about the movie, but
no, I
yeah.
mean it's got the same stylings as the parents in Mask of the Phantasm.
Oh yeah,
but it shows your typical. But it's in 4 pages. It shows the parents' death thing, and then the grave, and then it shows the training in the next 4 pages to fruition as Batman.
Yep. Yeah, I like this. I like the way this is told here, basically just through image, with no real like word balloons or anything like that. Absolutely love that, because it's all. This is one of the reasons why I really enjoyed Batman and Robin number 18, I believe it was, when it was after Damian got killed in the New 52. And it was just an issue of Batman reflecting, and it was like an entire issue with no words, no nothing, no monologue, nothing, just nothing but pictures. It was absolutely amazing, because you could just feel the inflection off the images. So we fast forward to today, where this guy is picking a pocket, and he gets a wallet, and he sees a glowy thing in the alley, picks it up, and come to find out, it's a Batarang. And it's not just a Batarang, it's a Bat Grapple.
Which I thought was actually funny, that he just lifts him off the ground, and the guy's like,
Wow, Nicky Red. Tell me what Professor Pig is planning. Oh man, I love this Batman. I wish there was going to be more episodes of the cartoon series. That's definitely BTAS. Where, I don't know anything, man. Why you always... That's that stern look. That's definitely BTAS. Always picking on me when... Okay. Oh, man. Yeah, I love how they do stick to the continuity of the cartoon series for Beware the Batman, but at the same time, they're allotted room to inflect other versions of Batman in this. I absolutely love it. What about you?
I they could do no wrong.
Yeah, pretty much.
And a lot of I love that the artistry is so crisp. It's almost got almost like a Batman the Animated Series mixed with like Scooby-Doo type for just regular people.
Uh-huh.
Like of their facial features and everything.
Oh yeah.
From the new one.
Yeah. The Mystery Incorporated, yeah.
And I love and you have the outlines, and you have the, like for when the kid's hands are shaking on the Batarang. The inflections on that, and it's just it looks really neat. And then Batman putting his big face in the kid's face, scaring the crap out of him.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the whole thing. It's just really well done.
Yeah. Also, contact a Mr. Robert Donnelly at the hotel that he's staying at. I have his wallet. I cannot see Batman returning. Okay, sure, we saw Nightwing and Robin in BTAS in Old Wounds return Connor's wallet, but I'm sorry, I cannot see Batman walking into a hotel room, or walking into a hotel period, and giving someone back their wallet. I just can't see that, but it's so awesome. It really, really is. So we go to this plane where the kid is not exactly... I don't know if he's afraid, or if he's just saying, we're landing. Oh yeah, no, he's excited. We're landing. We're landing. We're in Gotham. Um, and then we go to the Gotham City Stock Exchange where Alfred comes in. Um, um, and of course, he's, sneaking into straight through security. Uh, he says, I like that fake name you stuck me with, Beagle. Has more of a ring to it than Pennyworth. Nice old-fashioned feel. He says, I'll let you know if I see any suspicious characters. And then we get a flashback to Alfred, I believe. See, this is what's so nice about this series, is that they can do stuff like this. Yeah, it's a flashback to Alfred and his growing up in Britain and doing the spy thing and training and then eventually being Bruce's butler and growing up with him and being basically he's Bruce's James Bond at this point.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And this ain't your Michael Gough Alfred. This isn't your old man Alfred. This is young, fairly, not super young, but, I'd say mid-40s, mid-50s maybe, kind of Alfred where he can throw a punch. He's beating the hell out of these guys.
Oh yeah, he's just tearing them up.
Yeah. And the goons have the gall to say, capitalists destroying the environment are the true pigs here, not us. You handled the security breach. You may want to call it in. So yeah. So this family that comes in wants to go to the Gotham Arms. The driver says, the Sprang, okay, Mr. Preston? Or you want I should take the Parkway? The Sprang. Ha ha ha. Nice little nod to Dick Sprang. And the son's like, whichever way's longest. Ignore him. The Sprang Bridge will be fine.
Wow.
And the kid asks, have you ever seen the Batman? Can't say that I have, and that's just fine with me. Oh my god. I'm having such flashbacks to my my old Arby's stomping grounds. Because look, it's a Larby's. Oh my god, it's a Larby's distribution center. Wow. I don't know if that's I know it's supposed to be a play on Arby's, but that's just crazy because that does not look like a. Well, I guess it could be a roast beef sandwich. It just looks weird. And again, the art in this is so well done. When Katana breaks through the ceiling, just having her in shadow in the building is absolutely amazing. Oh man, this art is so well done. And she thinks that there's no one there, and Alfred's like, keep a sharp eye out, and she hears a crunch, and she's like, hold on, I'll call you back. And that's where issue 3 leaves off, and man, I wish this series was not ending, ladies and gentlemen. It is so good.
I'm just surprised that it is ending.
They want to make room for other stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's just so good. What did you think of chapter 3 here?
Not bad. I wouldn't say it's as strong as part 1 and 2, but it's not terrible.
See, for me, chapter 3 it's the beginning of another story. It's Batman versus Professor Pig, and it's one of the... Sure, Professor Pig isn't like tier 1 or even tier 2 on Batman's Rogues Gallery, but because that's who they set up in the series, I don't quite mind it. I love the art, like I said. The story, what makes the stories in these digital issues for me is the constant one-liners from either Batman, Alfred, or Katana. Absolutely amazing one-liners. So we have the Rule of Three, Part 2, and I should have said at the beginning of this, these two chapters are written by Matthew K. Manning and illustrated by Dario Brizuela. Now, Dario Brizuela also illustrates or is the artist on the new animated adventures for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles over at IDW, so very cool to see him here. And we open with Katana's origin story. I love how they're doing this because they're not wasting any time, and they're basically giving you small glimpses into each of the three main characters' lives without having to tell you anything in words. It's just visual.
Yeah.
And that image of the three of them, that is so friggin' cool. Going out, and on one side it's her grabbing her sword, and on the other side it's Batman, Alfred, and Katana going out. It's just very, very awesome. So we pick up where we left off, where Katana surprises these two goons. The one goon says, "I'll end you in a moment, my dear. You've caught me in the middle of dinner, I'm afraid. While these sandwiches cost the lives of so many animals each year, I have to admit they're quite tasty." And the other one says, "I don't get it. Why can't I have something to eat?" Oh, boy. So Katana makes, no time wasting these guys, which is very cool. She actually throws a sword at them. That is so awesome. And it's pretty much all action shots up until she says, "Just imitators here too. I'm going to deactivate the bomb now, but the real Professor Pig is still out there somewhere."
And he busts in with his vehicle.
Yep, pretty much. Yeah, that's a little crazy. What do you think of Professor Pig as a villain?
He's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the Kingpin with a mask of a pig. And then the part where, Batman confronts him, that's so totally Justice League Batman there.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That is, yeah.
I think it's coincidence more than anything else. But
yeah, I think it's the way the background is. But yeah, I would agree to that. So Batman punches him out, and the kid's like, "Whoa, this kid's just having an absolute blast." Quite literally now, because Professor Pig likes blowing stuff up, just like Anarchy did. "No, then, Mr. Preston, I like the pleasure of your family's company for a bit." "Don't you touch..." "Shh. That wasn't a question, Mr. Preston. Up you go, then." So Professor Pig gets away, Batman is on the ground, and they go towards the roof. I really have to edit this out. Holy crap. They go towards the roof. And Professor Pig says, "I'm glad you came home, Bert. You can squeal if you'd like." I didn't know Bert Ward was into squealing. So after this, we have yet another origin story with just images. And the fact that, young Bert runs into Professor Pig, and Batman comes in the present day and says, "Enough." It's just like you to take the side of, I said enough. Oh man, I love these images. These stories, these digital chapters are absolutely amazing, ladies and gentlemen. They really, really are. All of the different colors. They like the page, the panel where Batman's like, I said enough, where he says enough and he's holding Professor Pig up, all the red, and he drops him, and then it goes to green. It goes to the green kind of like night vision goggles. And we get back to Alfred and Katana, who missed all the action. And Katana says, I hate to say it, but I can't help but seeing Pig's point a little. Not his methods, of course, just his point. The public's already forgotten about the oil spill and moved on, and this man gets away with a literal crime against nature. On nights like this, you think Batman ever wonders if he's on the right side.
He's Batman. He always knows the right side.
Yeah.
It's just not the left side.
Yeah, that's true. What do you think of the night vision stuff after Alfred says no?
It's a nice effect.
Yeah, it's a really nice effect. And he always knows what side he's on, and that's the end of this issue. That's the end of this chapter, I should say. Absolutely love it. I think it's so well done. The writing is, even though there's different writers on each of the like I said before, chapters 1 and 2 are done by Ivan Cohen. Chapters 3 and 4 are done by Matthew Manning. When we get to the next couple of chapters, you would have Scott Beatty for 2, and then Ivan Cohen comes back. So it's not really this. What they've done here is they've taken one writer for two chapters, because it's part 1, part 2 stories. Absolutely love it. I have no problem with that at all. Because it's not a consistent, like, ongoing where you have to keep the same writer on every single issue.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Overall, what are your kind of final thoughts on the first 4 chapters?
Definitely something that people should pick up and read. I mean, it's Batman. It's more serialized, like an animated series, and not convoluted like a comic.
Yes, that is so true. All right, for me, for chapters 1 and 2, I'm going to give it a 5, which is a perfect on the GCRN Universal Rating System scale. For chapters 3 and 4, I'm going to give it probably a 4 out of 5. I didn't really have too many issues with it, but at the same time, I'm not that big of a fan of Professor Pig. What about you?
I'm not a huge fan of Professor Pig either.
Yeah.
So I'd probably pass on it as well. But no, I mean, I'd give it probably a 5 on the initial first 2 chapters, and then the second 2 chapters I'd probably give it a 4, just because it was good. Some of it I didn't care as much.
Right, yeah. All right, so that's going to do it for Beware the Batman. So far here in Batman Month, we've had JT and myself do Batman 66, issues 5 through 8. Of course, the Beware the Batman stuff here in this episode. Coming up next, we get into classic mode when we go back and talk about Batman Year 1. For now, I am TF2 and Mike with
Steve Megatron Phillips.
Thank you for listening. Make your great escape into comics, and we will catch you next time.
You just heard the latest episode of The Pullback, GCRN's comic book review podcast. There are several ways to get in touch with us and leave feedback for the show. You can visit the website, geekcastradio.com, where you can comment on the episode and all of our different podcasts. You can rate our show on iTunes. Be sure to leave us feedback. Call the voicemail line, 502-526-5821. Please remember to tell us the show you were leaving the message for and your name. Become a fan of us on Facebook by searching Geekcast Radio Network. You can send us an email, feedback@geekcastradio.com. Follow us on Twitter @GeekCastRadio. So until next time, unleash the geek in you.